Dear Jewel, I left you with a few things to always hold on to. Loyalty, elusiveness, and brute force. If you remember these lessons, you will survive. If anyone can, it's you. Love you always, Dad.
Xbox One S, starting at $299.
We've already talked about the games that have come out this year.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the games that are yet to come out this year.
Yeah.
They're coming out in the future. I have this in some sort of a chronological list. I probably haven't covered everything. Apologies in advance, internet. But let's get right to it. First things first, No Man's Sky at August 9th. Y'all excited? Y'all ready for this?
Yeah.
You excited?
Yeah. I'm cautiously excited because
Right.
it looks really ambitious. I'm worried if that's going to be a detriment. I'm like, with such a massive universe, I'm worried that it's sacrificing substance in the process. I hope they prove me wrong because I'm really excited to play it. I'm curious.
Yeah, I think I echo those those worries, I guess. What about you, Peter?
I'm curious, but I don't have high hopes.
Okay.
And I don't think that's worried. I think the game is not going to be as great as everyone thinks it
Really?
is.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
unfortunately.
really excited. Like the thing that I enjoy from open world games more than anything is exploring. So you don't need that much. You know, my requirement of substance isn't as high, I don't think. Like I just enjoy faffing about. Like I played
what
World of Warcraft
extent?
for years, and yeah, okay, that's a good point. And just like rambled, but yeah. I guess we'll see. We'll see. Very soon, August 9th. Gears of War 4 is out later that month. What do you think, Peter?
I really liked the first Gears of War and kind of fell off. I went back to play Judgment and thought, okay, but this is just kind of more Gears of War with
Yeah.
like a little bit of like
Gears of More.
Yeah, right. Shit, that's good. But I want to see what they can do, right? Like, it seems to be like the time. This will, I think, make or break Gears of War. If this doesn't work, there's not
Right.
going to be a Gears 5, and I bet you they know that. So like, they really have to put a lot into it. So I'm hoping there is that urgency and it pans out.
I'm a huge fan. I love the second game I adore. Third game I thought was really good as well. Judgment was the one that kind of burnt out for me a little bit.
Sure.
And I gotta say, like, I really want this game to be great, but nothing I've seen in any of the previews has made me particularly confident.
Yeah.
And even playing the multiplayer beta, like, I think they did the really good job of like making a Gears of War 2 style multiplayer beta, but I guess I just don't want to play Gears of War 2 multiplayer anymore.
Yeah, that's just it. I mean, the series seems to, like, you can always predict it's going to be more of what it always has been.
Yeah.
Which you can do that for a lot of series, but especially something like Halo and Gears of War. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like both of those series I'm kind of ambivalent to because it's like I've kind of been there, done that.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm missing the details, but
Maybe there's an audience that likes it somewhere, but yeah, not for us necessarily. What do you think, Mike?
I played it at E3, and I'm actually, I think, a little more excited than I was.
Okay, really?
It seems like it's kind of able to get out of its own way when it needs to, because there was a very like measured campaign mission I saw. Not the demo at E3. I played something different,
Right.
At like this Xbox Media Showcase, and it took its time in developing an atmosphere and tone. It felt like more like there was horror overtones now,
Right.
And I actually liked the characters. I think JP, I don't remember his first name. It's Marcus Phoenix's son.
Phoenix's son.
Yeah.
Minnie Junior.
So maybe they
Phoenix.
can pull something out of that. I don't know. I'm a little more excited than I was 2 months ago.
All right.
But
what's
yeah.
going to be the best father-son relationship? God of War?
Oh,
Gears
gosh.
of War.
That's the new thing.
GOW or GOW?
Speaking of
man.
father-son relationships, sure, why not? The Last Guardian. It has a release date now, I guess.
September, right?
Yes, they just
Or
said
October?
October 23rd.
Is that what it is?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
like 2
October,
days ago. Okay, so it's a little bit later in the year, actually. What do we think about that? I mean, it's such an unknown quantity, I feel like.
It's
Who
unknown,
knows?
but Ueda's past work kind of speaks for itself. I think when you are trying to figure out what to expect from this game, like it's going to be very atmospheric. It's going to be very subtle cues that communicate what most games try to communicate through overt, dialogue or stuff. I think that this game will be special, but whether or not it's going to be amazing and worth the 10, 11 years we waited for it,
Right.
that I really can't say. It's really hard to know.
Yeah, sorry, I jumped the gun there. That's coming out October 25th. So let's rattle it back to September time. Final Fantasy 15, September 30th.
Yeah.
There you go.
Very, very worried about that game.
It's everyone I've talked to about this seems to be like super worried.
The
about
first
it.
two demos they put out, it was kind of encouraging because it's like, okay, cool, we're getting a slice of this game we've been waiting for, and it's competent, it's doing new things, and it's for the most part succeeding at them. But then they showed that and I hate to just like take one bad example and call the game out, but the E3 demo was awful. There's no getting around that. Like, not even just the way that the person playing the demo performed. It just looked like a really poorly constructed boss battle.
Yeah.
And then the VR thing they showed. And then everything I've heard who's played it just sounds like it's a joke. And I worry that this game is sort of
Like trying to do too much, or
maybe trying to do too much and just relying on spectacle to sort of be its main selling point. Because we know how combat kind of works. We kind of know who the characters are, but there isn't a great sense of how it all ties together. And I think that is going to be the bigger thing. And if the details therein aren't good, it's probably going to be kind of problematic. But I hope it's great. I love Final Fantasy. Been waiting for this game for a long time, and Tabata is a nice guy who seems to know what he's doing. We just have to wait and see.
Yeah. Okay, let's shift from the world of JRPGs to, I guess, the big easy, Mafia 3, October 7th. Y'all looking forward to this? I've been very interested in what they're doing. It seems like a unique setting, unique character. What do you think, Mike?
I really like period pieces in games. I remember like LA Noire, despite all its faults, I still like want to play that game just for the kind of setting it created. That
Do you like the Saboteur?
Yeah, I also like Saboteur.
Okay,
I like that as well.
That.
I liked Assassin's Creed before it got pretty rote.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm mainly attracted to with Mafia 3, and it sounds like it's a cool character, the main one. It sounds like it's dealing with some pretty heavy issues. To see how they actually execute on those.
Yeah, we'll see.
But yeah, I'm excited for that.
Battlefield 1, we've talked a bit about it already today. October 21st. Any interest in here? Well, I know you're interested, Mike.
Yeah.
I'm super interested, and I'm someone who I don't really care about Battlefield as a series, and Doom is like Doom and Titanfall are the only first-person shooters I've actually really enjoyed for a long time. But watching these guys play Battlefield 1 today, like the setting looks right, the weapons, the vehicles, all that looks so good. I am very excited to play it, actually.
Let's talk about Titanfall as well, because that's out pretty quickly after that, October 28th, the following week.
A campaign.
I know. Who knew?
Yeah.
Well,
we
I guess
knew.
it was what everyone was asking for the longest time. Excited about it?
Definitely.
There you go. Me too.
I mean, I like mechs. It's a fun shooting game otherwise, and there's a lot of great mobility. Like, it's hard not to love that game, the first one especially.
It was like the first game that started off that big wave of, let's make first-person shooters interesting again with movement. We've kind of had a lot of it now. We've had riches in terms of that for the past 2 years. It'll be interesting to see what they can do to sort of, I guess, reaffirm their position as the head honchos with that stuff.
Yeah, I played a couple matches at E3. It's really fun. So the Titans themselves are like superheroes now. There's Ion, who is all of his attacks are laser attacks.
Right,
all of its attacks. Scorch, flames. So it's really cool. Like Vince Zampella was saying that
like Robot Wars.
Yeah, they're saying there's a big like
Matilda coming out.
To go back to Street Fighter, they said there's a big fighting game influence on it. Like you start to learn. Hear me out.
It's like Dark Souls.
No, I don't want to hear that.
All right.
Like Vince Zampella literally said the same thing on our game.
Right,
I'm sure
that's
the line.
like on everything, every document where he preps to talk about this game.
This one's like Sub-Zero. This guy's like Noob Saibot. You all right, Mike?
Yeah, I'm all right. Titanfall 2 is really fun.
He hates
coming
me.
out
I'm
October 28th. I mean, it's really weird because it's wedged in between the other two. It's going to be mental. Battlefield 21st, Titanfall 2 28th, November 4th, Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. Looking forward to that at all?
Kind of. I like space. I like space battles.
Space.
I always like
Personal space?
personal space.
Yeah.
I do need some personal space. I freaked out at Tay the other day.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
That'll happen.
Yeah.
They made a game about that. It's called Space Invaders. It's a classic.
Wow. Wow.
That was good. That was good.
pretty good.
That was good.
I like
I
you
have to
more.
credit my friend. He actually said that.
Oh, boo! Get out of here.
Friend joke.
He doesn't read or
You
watch
don't have a
GameSpot
friend.
though.
Who is it? Scott
can't read.
Butterworth?
No, from back home.
Okay.
You don't need to know.
Shout out.
Nico. I Nuzo, what up?
Nico?
Yeah.
Was he the star of Grand Theft Auto 4?
No,
Okay. It's a shame.
he's Italian.
Yeah, all right. Peter,
Hi.
Call of Duty Infinite Warfare.
Yeah, I like Call of Duty campaigns. I like space. Let's wrap
So
it up.
great, that's done. Yeah,
Yeah, we'll
stick
see,
it.
yeah.
Stick it on the box. Infinity Ward. I mean, I'm super like down on. Look at these guys getting rolled over by a fucking helicopter. That's so dumb. I'm super like not interested in the past couple of Call of Duty games. Or they've been fine. They've just been known quantities. There's something about this. I liked what they showed at E3 because it was them saying, hey, guess what? Combat has fundamentally changed because we're going to be using space in interesting ways. And I like the jetpack and the hook and all that stuff. So I'm sort of hoping this will be an interesting new take on the formula. They certainly seem to be trying to do it, and I think it's difficult for them to change it up too much because they risk alienating a lot of people who are super into Call of Duty every single year. So we'll have to see. Dishonored 2, who likes it?
Yeah.
All right, 2 hands up. That's coming out November 11th, right after Call of Duty. There's a lot of video games coming out. Yeah, I mean, this game has been a long time coming. It looks beautiful from what we saw at E3.
Yeah, the actual like moment-to-moment gameplay between now there's 2 characters. I have Corvo and Emily.
Yeah.
I believe Emily being the one you like rescued in the first game, so it's pretty badass. You get to play her, but she also has a very different style to her gameplay. Instead of like blinking, it's the tendrils, right? That she's shooting out through like a grappling hook kind of thing.
Jackie Estacado in the darkness. Tendrils.
Yes.
Yeah.
They also showed a bunch of these new powers. It looks like it's going to be more of Dishonored 1, which is I'm not disappointed in. Knowing like Arcane Studio, well, I mean, not knowing them, I don't know them well. They have like 2 games as of now, 3 games. I don't know,
but a lot of people who've made a lot of great.
Their roots go back to like the System Shock days from like Looking Glass Studios,
Thief and all that.
Yes.
Good stuff.
I'm looking forward to how like the experimentation is going to play out with the different powers and everything.
Another game coming out from a studio that we may or may not know. I don't know. I'm running out of segues here. 4 days after that, The Watch Dogs. Dos. What do we think of Watch Dogs 2? I was very interested when they first showed it off. I was kind of like cautiously optimistic. Talking to the guys at E3, I'm a little bit less. I was interested in them really like tackling the whole East Bay, West Bay kind of thing.
And then it sounds like, oh yeah, some of our designers live there for like a year.
Yeah.
It's like, wow.
It just seems like if you're going to take an African American protagonist and throw them into San Francisco's like crazy, white gentrification world, you really need to jump into that. I mean, it's something like I live in Oakland, and it's like that's like the constant that's what people are talking about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's from talking to them, it seems like they are probably going to delicately acknowledge it and not jump too far into it, which I'm a little bit disappointed about. But apart from that, I'm very interested in playing this game. In a way, in terms of like just pure gameplay, the whole like hacking any car, hacking a lot of stuff, I like the idea of doing that. The one thing, one of the many problems I had with the first Watch Dogs was that the way you completed levels was so unbelievably fucking rote. Like it was like, do this thing, jump from this camera to this camera, and none of it was particularly fun. So I don't know, a little bit more player agency might go a long way. What do you think about it, Peter?
I mean, like we're sort of, I think, biased a little bit because it's set, a place I've lived for a decade. Maybe it's not as important to you, Mike. I mean, you hate San Francisco.
Yeah.
He called it San Francisco earlier. Just stupid. Said his friend made that joke.
Mike's gonna kick my ass after.
What is going? Yeah, what is this animosity? Did I say something to you today?
You just reviewed too many games.
I
Okay,
love San Francisco. I'm excited for them to.
God, it takes me so seriously.
It is that thing about it. It's in your hometown. It's in your like your backyard. It's fun, right?
Yeah,
it's like a fun thing.
I look. You see this laptop with like a sticker on it that says hacker, and that immediately raises alarms for me because it's like the tone of this game is probably going to be shit.
Peter, it says Hacksaw.
Oh. The tone of this game, I don't have high hopes. I don't have high hopes that it's going to be able to accomplish it. Their stated goal of dealing with cultural issues in the Bay Area, which for someone who lives here, like these are things you see every day. It's not just like something you throw on because it's fashionable to talk about. Like it affects real people, and and it's the same thing with Mafia, right? Like how are these games going to handle these seemingly serious issues?
Yeah.
Or seemingly these serious issues. I don't know. I feel like that is going to be the bigger problem for me than the gameplay when it comes to Watch Dogs.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm hoping, I'm sort of a little bit maybe not as optimistic of either game doing it necessarily. But we'll have to wait and see. That's Watch Dogs 2. It's not the last game out though. There is something about Star Park Games. I like to launch them late. December 6th, The Fractured Butthole. Yeah. Looking forward to that?
Love it. Can't wait.
Yeah. You like buttholes, Mike?
I just played Stick of Truth recently for the first time.
It's on sale. It was on
Jake
sale.
Decker. Yeah, and it was incredibly funny, and I'm looking forward to more South Park. Yeah, that humor is always welcome.
Yay! And that's all the games that I have prepared on this. Did I forget anything? I probably did. Did I forget anything, Mike?
Deus Ex Mankind Divided I'm
Oh,
excited about
totally forgot about
because I really liked Human Revolution, but it definitely had problems in its structure and how you're punished. It was like the same thing with the first Dishonored. You're kind of punished for going a certain route after a while. And also Civilization 6 I'm really excited about.
Right,
And
yeah.
how they are kind of revamping how the cities work and make you think about the map differently. As a big Civilization fan, Civ 5 is still one of my favorite games. 6 has me excited.
Is it weird? Like, I'm not someone who plays a lot of strategy games, but when he was describing the changes to Civ, where it's like all the complexities of a city aren't encapsulated on just one part of the grid. Now they're spread out. To me, that sounds kind of like basic game evolution. Like after
Like it took you 6 games to do this?
it took you decades to do that.
Yeah, that was my takeaway. But I played it for about an hour, and it seemed there's a lot of smaller things that aren't things you could just like say without going into a feature list that have changed.
Yeah.
It does make you think about the map differently because resources figure into different city districts in a way that impacts the overall structure.
Yeah.
I completely see what you're saying though, because that was my initial kind of hesitance.
I mean, it sounds. No, I'm not saying like it makes me not like interested in the game. I'm glad it's here, but it's also like, all right.
It's fine if you hate Civilization.
Civilization 6 coming pretty soon, October 21st. I guess the same day as Battlefield 1, actually. So you can get
great.
you can get your destruction of civilizations on in many different ways. And Deus Ex Mankind Divided, much closer, October 23rd. So just a couple of days before Gears of War.
Oh, I forgot that got
August, sorry, I
delayed
said
again.
August.
Okay, I was
Did
going to say
October. I meant August. August.
Yeah, I was going to say, well, that got delayed by 2 months. I had no idea.
Right. Yeah. So it hasn't. I was lying. I was deceitful.
Sweet.
Okay, before we wrap this up, what was the one game out of all those that you're looking forward to the most? No Man's Sky, Gears of War, Final Fantasy 15, Mafia 3, Battlefield 1, Last Guardian, Titanfall 2, Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, Dishonored 2, Watch Dogs 2, and I guess Civilization 6. Oh yeah, and Deus Ex. Wait, you go first. Michael.
Civilization 6.
Okay.
Last Guardian.
Right. I'm going to go No Man's Sky.
I knew.
I don't know. Just been watching it close for a while.
Typical.
Typical Irish sticking together. Unbelievable.